Welcome to our in-depth analysis of Ondas Holdings Inc., ticker symbol ONDS. In this video, we'll break down the current technical and fundamental landscape for ONDS, exploring its risk profile, price action, and what the indicators are telling us about potential future moves. Whether you're an investor looking for your next opportunity or simply curious about ONDS's recent performance, this comprehensive review will give you the insights you need. Let's start by setting the stage with a general overview of where ONDS stands in the market today. Currently, ONDS is trading at 5.81, placing it almost in the middle of its 52-week range. The risk thermometer shows moderate risk, and with a beta of 0.811, ONDS is less volatile than the broader market. It suggests a certain degree of stability, which can be appealing for risk-conscious investors. The risk-reward ratio stands at an impressive 6.28, indicating that the potential reward outweighs the risk by a significant margin. However, technical signals are mixed, with a bullish technical score but some short-term weakness indicated by the MACD histogram and RSI. Let's dive deeper into ONDS's risk and reward profile. The moderate risk level, as indicated by the risk thermometer, means ONDS isn't overly speculative. The beta value below 1 shows it tends to move less dramatically than the market, which can be a double-edged sword, less downside in a market drop but also less explosive upside. The risk-reward ratio of 6.28 is particularly attractive, suggesting that for every unit of risk there's a strong potential for gain. This makes ONDS a candidate for those seeking balanced risk with upside potential. ONDS's technical score is 69.02, which leans bullish. The ADX value of 26.54 suggests a moderate trend strength, but not a strong directional move. However, the MACD histogram is negative and the RSI is declining, both of which point to short-term weakness. This means that while the overall technical outlook is positive, there are warning signs that the current uptrend may be losing steam. Investors should be cautious and watch for confirmation before making any big moves. Looking at volume, ONDS is showing significant volume trap signals. The on-balance volume OBV is high, but the accumulation distribution AD is negative, indicating that despite price movements, there's more distribution than accumulation. The ADOC is also negative, confirming a bearish divergence. While there's slight volume acceleration and above-average trading activity, the overall volume picture remains bearish. This suggests that behind the scenes, sellers may be dominating. Volume weighted average price, VWAP, for ONDS is 4.74, while the current price is 5.81. This creates a VWAP difference percentage of 22.48%, which can indicate buying interest as the price is trading well above the VWAP. However, this should be interpreted with caution, especially given the bearish volume signals. Sometimes, a price above VWAP can attract buyers, but if distribution is occurring, it may also signal a potential reversal. ONDS's moving averages paint a mostly bearish picture in the short term. The 5, 10, and 20-day SMAs are all above the current price, indicating recent weakness. Longer-term SMAs and EMAs are mixed, with some above and some below the current price. The MAMA and FAMA indicators are both above the current price, which points to medium-term bearish pressure. It suggests that while there may be some support from longer-term trends, the short-term outlook is cautious. Contrast between short-term and long-term moving averages is important. Short-term EMAs and SMAs above the price signal weakness, while some longer-term averages below the price suggest underlying support. This mixed setup can often precede a significant move, as the market decides whether to follow the short-term bearish signals or lean on long-term support. Investors should monitor these averages closely for any crossover events. Let's break down the technical indicators by group. The MACD shows a negative histogram indicating bearish momentum. RSI values are in neutral territory, neither overbought nor oversold, while stochastic indicators are in low ranges, suggesting oversold conditions. Momentum indicators are mostly negative and the price is trading near the lower Bollinger Band. These factors combine to paint a picture of a stock that's under pressure but potentially primed for a bounce if buyers step in. Then signals like the TRIX and EOM further reinforce the bearish momentum. The TRIX is negative, and the ease of movement EOM is also negative, suggesting that it's easier for the price to move down than up. Spread between FAMA and MAMA with FAMA above MAMA is another bearish sign. These subtle indicators can sometimes precede larger moves, so it's important to keep them in mind when evaluating ONDS. Linear regression analysis of ONDS shows a positive slope of 0.064, indicating an overall upward trend over the analyzed period. The intercept is at 4.5, and the R-squared value of 0.359 suggests a moderate correlation between time and price. The predicted value from the regression is 8.68, which is significantly higher than the current price of 5.81. This means ONDS is currently undervalued relative to its trend, with a deviation of minus 33.03%. Linear regression analysis suggests ONDS is trading below its expected value, indicating it may be undervalued. This can present an opportunity for investors who believe the stock will revert to its trend line. However, it's important to weigh this against the bearish technical indicators and volume signals we've discussed. Sometimes, undervaluation can persist if negative sentiment dominates. Looking ahead to the next trading day, technical indicators suggest ONDS is likely to open near its previous close of 5.81. The negative MACD histogram and declining RSI point to bearish pressure, but the stock's position above key long-term moving averages provides some support. The pivot point at 5.55 could act as a reference level. Oversold, stochastic readings, and a favorable risk-reward ratio hint at possible early buying interest, potentially leading to a slightly higher opening around 5.85 to 5.88. ONDS is key support at 5.21 and resistance at 6.15. With the current price of 5.81, the stock is closer to resistance than support. The pivot point at 5.55 is below the current price, suggesting a bullish bias if the price remains above this level. The Bollinger Bands provide additional reference points, with the lower band at 4.39 and the upper band at 10.19. The PSAR at 6.35 is above the current price, indicating a bearish signal. Given these support and resistance levels, ONDS may test the 6.15 resistance during intraday trading. If resistance holds, a pullback to the 5.55 pivot point is possible. The proximity to resistance means traders should be alert for potential reversals or breakouts, especially if volume spikes. The Bollinger Bands suggest a wide trading range, so volatility could be higher than usual. ONDS's ATR 14 is 0.847, indicating moderate volatility. This means the stock typically moves about 0.85 per session. The probable high for the next session could be around 6.23, while the probable low could be around 5.39. However, the true volatility of 14.58 and a volatility breakout value of 1.12 suggest that if a breakout occurs, the range could expand significantly, with highs near 6.95 and lows near 4.67. The bullish scenario, if ONDS breaks above the 6.15 resistance level with increased volume, it could trigger a short squeeze and target the 7 level. The favorable risk-reward ratio supports this outlook. This scenario has a 30% probability, so while not the most likely, it's a possibility to watch for, especially if positive momentum returns. Bearish scenario is more probable with a 45% chance. If the volume trap signals play out and ONDS breaks below the 5.21 support, further selling could push the stock down to the 4.5 level. The negative MACD histogram and distribution signals support this outlook. Traders should be cautious if the stock approaches the support level with increasing volume. There's also a neutral scenario with a 25% probability where ONDS consolidates between 5.21 and 6.15 as it digests recent moves. The neutral RSI readings and mixed moving average signals support this outlook. In this case, the stock may trade sideways, giving investors time to assess new developments before the next big move. Before we wrap up, let's quickly review some key technical concepts mentioned in this analysis. Understanding terms like MACD, RSI, stochastic, and Bollinger Bands is crucial for interpreting stock charts and making informed decisions. These indicators help traders gauge momentum, trend strength, and potential reversal points, forming the backbone of technical analysis. Conclusion: ONDS presents a mixed technical picture. While there are some concerning signals such as bearish momentum and volume traps, there are also opportunities, especially if the stock is indeed undervalued relative to its trend. The risk thermometer indicates moderate risk, and the favorable risk-reward ratio is encouraging. Investors should closely watch for a break above 6.15 for bullish confirmation, or below 5.21 for bearish continuation. As always, stay informed and manage your risk carefully.